Right, let's continue on with this guy here. It's low enough poly. We can have a look at the actual poly count by hitting the 7 key, and that will show us some stats up here. So it's pretty low there. We can also hit the plus sign here and come down to configure viewports, and we can look at the statistics tab here and show us the total or the selection or the total and selection. I prefer this. Now currently it's just one model that we're dealing with there at the minute, but let's go in and create some wires and that sort of thing. So I want it on total and selection. Click apply and just click OK, and there's the total and there's just the selection, in this case just the control panel. As you can see, it's good to name things. Right, Alt W to go back here. I'm going to bring it out to full screen, and let's start creating the wire. Where do I want the wires to come from? Possibly from inside of here, up and around this, follow the contour around here, down and in. I don't know. Let's have a look at this. So, right, starting the line. Now I know I want it to come up like a bit, so I'm going to add an extra bit of geometry in here. So there's the 2 panels there, so I'll add one there, one right beside it, another one right beside it, and just left clicking to go around, and this is the part where it's flowing along the front of the desk. And this is the part where it will hang and then back around. Let's actually bring it right up. So I put it into that container. So I'm just going to right click there to deselect it. We can go into modify here. We can come into vertex there. So I'm going to select, actually I want to go into a different viewport to actually start extruding these, or I should say moving these guys up. I'm going to turn off the grid so maybe you guys can see it a bit better. Okay, so about there, I'm going to grab all of these guys here and bring them up around to the base where I want it there. The wire's okay there, so it's really only this guy here that I need to bring up like that. Okay, so this one needs to just be over the edge. So all of these need to be up further, so I'm going to grab the whole lot of them. So it's a good idea to work in all viewports so you can actually see where you're positioning everything. Seems to be okay going across along there. I'm going to grab these guys first and just put them where I think they should go. Maybe up there a bit. This is the one that's going to follow over. Oops. Let's grab all of these guys actually. Yeah, it looks like a bit of a mess there, but I know that he's going to go up. And as you can see, I'm grabbing in both the Z and the Y just to make the life a bit easier and quicker for myself. Okay, something like that. So maybe along here we can actually add extra detail, which I think will look quite good. Okay, so at this stage, maximize the top view there. I'm going to grab, basically holding control, grab all of these guys here except for the top two and the last two. I can then simply right click on these and go to smooth in the tools 1 menu, and that will smooth that off. Now let's have a look at that here. Just go to wireframe so you can see it a bit better. Okay, lots of extra detail there. So what I'm going to do next is I can come out of this line tool, so I'm going to call this cable. I hit the G key to put the grid back on, and I'm going to go with circle here and add a small circle in there. If I go to modify, change the radius there. Now do remember that we want to bring down the interpolation of these, so I'll just continue for the minute anyway. We're going to select this guy here and scroll all the way down until we see sweep, and that's on the custom built section. We want to put it on use, the built-in section. We want to use the custom section, so I'm going to click this, click the pick button, pick the circle that we just created, and have a look at this wonderful model. Okay, so you can see that the small bit of organicness of the cable that we added in now actually helps sell the whole workstation. It's always good to think about scale as well. The workstation could be any scale, so you know, if you add something in there that makes it look more real world, then that's going to add a lot to it. Okay, so let's have a look at the detail in here. There's an awful lot of detail, so I'm going to come back down to the line tool. Now if we do want to work in the vertex in the line tool and we want to see the sweep above it, you can remember that we can use the show end result toggle in the modifier stack. So if I click on that, we can come in here and start editing the wire. Okay, so we're going to look at the interpolation here. I'm going to bring this, I'm going to bring it down to 1, I think, but if I bring it right down to 0, you can see that it just looks a bit jaggedy, so we can spare an extra bit of detail. So we bring it up to 1. I don't actually like this section here, it's annoying me a little. What is that? I want it to be a bit smoother there. That looks okay. And obviously we want to grab that little circle, which is this guy here, and change the interpolation of that. I'm going to drop it all the way down to 1 to begin with, and it actually looks okay. Sorry, down to 0. So it's more of a square. To be honest, I don't think we actually need all that detail. Like, it looks good there. It looks fine there. It's not a problem. We can change the radius of that still, and I suppose once it's smooth, you're not really going to notice the detail on it. So this is controlled by this. Just want to make it look like it's sagging just a wee bit more. So let's go here. Now what we can do with this guy is even just lock him to the side there, so you know, I can go in and cheat that by just grabbing another box. Just looking at it in the top view here. And even this simple section that we can add on here should add a lot to it and sort of keep the whole thing compliant. I'm gonna add in this segment, convert this to an editable poly. We grab these vertex back a bit. I might actually just pull that whole thing so it's inside the other mesh. And now if I isolate this guy here, I know I can delete this poly, hold control and select all these guys here and delete them out. We don't actually need them. Okay, so I think that will add to it. I'm going to select the main model there, come up, go to attach and attach that section there. So let's have a quick look at that. Okay, so the wire in here just needs to be tweaked a little bit. We can remove that guy now in a minute. We'll leave him there until we continue on, but that's looking pretty good so far. Again, just remember, go up to File, Save As, and we should be on lesson 5, so I'm going to click Save there.